वाह यार, मैं इसको ना मतलब कितने बार भी देख सकता हूँ. इट मेक्स मी सो हैप्पी. आई गेट सो पम्प्ड अप. Or maybe it's the coffee. But this was so cool. I mean, did you guys enjoy this cinematic sequence? Let me know in the comments how you guys liked it. But for me, like, anytime I watch anything cinematic, I just feel so pumped, so cool. In this video, what we're gonna do is basically break down these cinematic shots, these cinematic sequences into five some insane gimbal tricks, which that I have learned over time. And I guess if you guys learn it, like suppose you just bought a new gimbal and you learn these tricks, then it will be super helpful for you to further up your game, like level up your game. You just go for a client shoot and you're like poof, you're just killing it, like you're just nailing each shot already. But before anything else, like याद है कुछ मैंने बोला था काफी पहले, like if you rewind back. But before that, I would like to say please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My plan is to make it 1,000 subscribers by the end of September, and today is September 27th. ठीक है, मतलब लगता है बुरा, यहाँ दर्द होता है, यहाँ दर्द होता है यार. जल्दी सब्सक्राइब करो सबसे यार जल्दी करो, ठीक है, जल्दी. लेट्स मेक 1,000 एज सून एज पॉसिबल. अगस्त आ रहा है, चलो अगस्त एंड का प्लान रखते हैं, ठीक है ना, तुम्हारा ना मेरा अगस्त एंड. बाय अगस्त एंड लेट्स ट्राई टू गेट 1,000 सब्सक्राइबर्स ऑन दिस चैनल. एंड नाउ इट्स टाइम टू हिट द इंट्रो. So the thing is कि ये जो पूरा tutorial था, this was supposed to be shot outside, wherever I'm doing these sequences basically. But like there was so much sound over there was so much noise, the beach waves and all the wind blowing. Like just check this footage out. I mean, just check this footage out where I tried to do the vlog part of this tutorial. Hey guys, what's up? Hope you guys are doing great. So right now we are at this beautiful place. That's Rhea. And she's gonna help me with today's shoot. अगर आप लोगों ने मेरा पहला वीडियो देखा होगा, by the way, which is already in the suggested link, so you can tap there and check it out. I had very clearly mentioned that there are certain scenarios where you need to have a mic when you go outside. Well, this was one of them, and I was not carrying any mic outside with me. So yes, the audio quality was very terrible. So hence I came back. So I'm doing this whole explaining part in my studio. Okay, another thing, एक और चीज़. I want you guys to know the equipments that I've used for this shoot. There was nothing high-end budget. It was a basic Ronin SC. It's the most basic Ronin gimbal, DJI gimbal that is there out. And I have Canon M50 again, which is a very budget camera. Again, both are my favorites and both are linked in the description. You can click on it if you want to buy. And yeah, that's the scene. Okay, abhi pakka. Like let's get into the video. Like the main topic of the video. Let's just do that. Cool. Let's just do that. So the first shot that I'm gonna talk about, like I like to call it the push in and pull out shot. I mean, that's not a technical name. That's something I call it because it is something like that. So basically in the shot, what you do is you're walking towards the subject, or you're walking away from the subject where the subject is mostly stationary. So these kind of shots are very helpful when when you're trying to bring the attention on the subject, but at the same time you want to show the whole ambience around that person, around that subject. So when you're pushing into the frame, when you're walking towards the subject, initially you see this whole huge space where this subject is a tiny thing, but as you go inside, the whole attention goes on the subject. So that makes a lot of sense, and like personally I really like it. And also it's a very it's a kind of Bible shot that you every time need to get when you're shooting something on a gimbal. So shots like these are very feasible when you're using a wide angle lens. Like for example, in this shot I have used my kit lens that I have. It's 15mm wide, so I'm able to very well capture the environment around, and again when I just push in, I can focus on the subject. So my recommendation for this kind of shot is a wide angle lens. Another variation to this shot is a follow shot, where you're basically following the subject. It can happen from behind, it can happen from front, you can follow the subject from the sides. And personally, if you ask me, I really like shots where I'm following the subject from the side. That looks really cinematic to me. And another tip, another very important tip which I like to share is when you have something in between the subject and you, while you're filming it, like trees or anything which is in middle, which is coming at times in the frame, and you're passing it throughout, that just blows my mind. That just makes me feel so cool about it. And also you have this option to mask very neatly over those elements. So when you consider those points, just keep this in mind that while you're shooting a follow shot from sideways, try to add few elements in the middle, which is just there while you're shooting it away. These actually help a lot and make the shots look way cool. Another shot which is very close to my heart, especially when I'm shooting concerts or when I'm shooting a music video, especially rap videos, it's a rotation shot. So what we do basically is we're trying to keep the subject in the center, and we are using the rotation mode in the gimbal that you have, and you rotate the camera almost 180 degrees. So when you're doing this rotation, it's actually more than 180 degrees. It's around 270, I guess, but most of the gimbals even have 360 degree rotation. So when you're doing that rotation, it gives a very trippy kind of feel to the video. And again, like, use this shot very wisely, because not every client will be happy seeing this shot. It's a very real, so suppose it's a real estate video, and out of the blue the camera is rotating and the video is getting trippy, and the client is like, I didn't hire you for this, why are you here? So just make sure that you're using this shot wisely. So now talking about the third shot, which is another one of my favorite shots, and this is something that I do almost every time when I shoot. This is the orbit shot, where what you're doing is basically the subject is in the center and you're revolving around the subject, but you're using the gimbal joystick to make sure that the center of the main focus of the camera throughout this whole shot is on the subject. These orbit shots look way more cooler when you have some variety around. Like suppose you have trees, it won't look cool when you're just shooting at a white wall. I mean, that will look really bad. So try to have some variety around, and then use this shot, implement it very smartly to get a really good effect out of it. Another tip, I just feel I'm giving tips in tips. This is an inception. I don't know, but yeah, back to the video. So when you're using a lens which is 50mm or 85mm, you will get a good depth of field and a good parallax effect, the background shift and everything. So the video will look more cooler when you're using a higher focal length lens. So keep that in mind, that whenever you're trying this effect, try to have a lens which is a higher focal length lens. This effect will come out way more cooler, and that bokeh will look so cool, so bang on. I'm already missing it. It looks pretty cool, trust me, so cool. So the next shot in the list is what I call the focus in shot. Now what you do over here is basically you have the focus away from the subject, and as you go towards the subject, you bring in the focus. So when you do this kind of a shot, you get a very good advantage where you can actually direct the eyes of the viewer, so when you're starting out of focus and you slightly get into focus and the focus is right on the subject, the viewer is just watching that, and when it's shot on a gimbal, the viewer is like, so that whole experience becomes super smooth, super beautiful. The flow is insane, and as viewer, I enjoy it so much. Another tip on this one is use a lens which has an aperture 2.8 or lower, like aperture 2 or something, because you want to have that bokeh, you want to have that good blur where you can distinguish that, okay, now the subject is in focus. So try to use a lens which has aperture 2.8 or below. The last shot that we're going to talk about is literally my personal favorite shot. Not kidding, I do it every time. Anytime I start a cinematic sequence, you might actually see that shot with which I start a cinematic sequence. So this is the inverted gimbal shot. Okay, so basically what we try to achieve while we're shooting in this way is we're trying to achieve a very low angle, and it's panned a little bit upwards, so you get this whole depth and this whole different perspective, which for human eye is very different because we can't see that low in general. So that perspective looks so cool, and when you invert the gimbal, basically you can get the camera as low as possible. So that is why I like to call it the inverted gimbal shot. Now this tip that I'm going to share with you guys, I really want you to not share it with anyone. This is my personal trick, and just keep it with you, because you are watching it, you watch my videos. I want you guys to keep it. Don't share this. this is crazy secret. So what I do every time I'm trying to get that lower angle, you have this chance of, the gimbal slipping out of your hand and it just falling and damaging, it just damage your gimbal. So what I do is I use the tripod attachment and I try to use it as a grip. I hold it in a way that it's acting as a good grip. So now there is no chance that the gimbal or the camera is going to fall. I can go as low as possible and get, just focus on getting the shot, just focus on nailing the shot, which I do every time. Okay, maybe not every time, but yeah, that's the point. So use this trick every time you're trying to get that low angle, and trust me, when you're shooting a very dynamic video, like suppose it's an athlete running, or it's a skateboarding video, you get that low angle and oh my god, the video looks so buttery cool. I cannot, I just said in the start, I crush over these videos so badly. I love them so much. I don't know, I'm getting too excited. So these are my favorite 5 tips, tricks, whatever you wanna call it, you can call it, but these are my favorite gimbal shots that, by 2020, I feel by far the most used shots and the most professional looking shots that you can get. And you just go somewhere and do these shots, even if you're a beginner. Like, people are gonna be so impressed. They're gonna be like, dude, are you a pro? Like, really, are you a pro? So that's the reaction you'll get when you use these tricks. These shots look insane. These shots look super cinematic. So yes, that was all about in this video. And yeah, I know मैं भूल गया था, मतलब sorry, भूला नहीं था. I went on so what happened is, basically I went for a trip last weekend, and you realize that there is this new thing on my eyes which was not there earlier. So I lost my specs last weekend, and this whole time I was almost blinded until I got this one. Let me know how this looks. I really like this shape, of the specs. I really like it. So yes, let me know how the specs look, and I'll see you guys probably next week. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, whatever you can do to this video to make sure that this reaches a great, good audience. Yeah, please do whatever you can do about this channel. August tak, कोशिश कर रहे हैं, मतलब हो जाए subscriber 1000 तो it will be nice. So yes, that's all in this video. I'll see you guys next week. Till that time, as I always say, peace out.